I want to call out all the hypocrites who suddenly think they're the ones who get to decide what's right and wrong. For example, this YouTuber Legal Mindset, this guy spent months making video after video about Johnny Somali, and as soon as Vitaly got locked up, he jumped right into that too, dropping clips non-stop like it's his personal drama show. And you know what really gets me? He's clearly loving it.
Have fun with that. He's gonna sit for 2 to 3 years just for the trial.
Dude's practically excited of the thought of another creator getting taken down. He's not here to educate or help, he's putting on a show. I get it, he's a lawyer, but like my buddy, who's also a lawyer, says, every lawyer is just a crook in a suit. Not saying that's 100% true, but man, sometimes it really feels like it. Where was all this energy when people like me and a whole wave of creators were doing prank videos for years? You all watched, you all laughed, you all shared the content. Nobody said a word, but now, suddenly everyone wants to act like saints because it's convenient and trending. And just a heads up, in case Legal Mindset decides to strike this video, I am invoking fair use under US copyright law. This is transformative and criticism, not a re-upload. You know, the exact the same kind of use he claims to rely on his own channel description. So if he suddenly forgets how fair use works, I've got a screenshot ready for you, buddy. I'm seeing all these YouTubers, lawyers, keyboard warriors acting like they've always been the moral authority, warning people not to come to their countries and disrespect the locals. Funny how nobody had anything to say when this kind of content was all over their feeds, getting likes and shares. I filmed the same kind of content here in the States for years, and so did plenty of others. We had millions of views, the same people used to watch our videos, liked them, laughed at them, and never said a word. But I guess that was fine, because the moral code only kicks in when a plane lands in Asia. Suddenly it's not about what's right or wrong, it's about geography-based outrage. Now that topic is trending, now that they can get clicks and clout off Vitaly's case, they all over it. Let's be honest, this is not just about Vitaly being a bad guy. I saw some comments apparently from Philippines, I mean they know better than I do, saying that the president of Philippines wants to make an example out of him because election is coming up. And honestly, that makes more sense than half the narratives being pushed right now. He's being treated like a criminal mastermind, like a serial killer, when in reality, it's just politics. This isn't about the justice, it's about optics, and the hypocrisy is wild. Now, let's actually look at what Legal Mindset pulled up on the screen. These so-called charges Vitaly might be facing, things like attempting to kiss or grab a security guard, trying to seize a service weapon, filming without consent, mocking a guard, vlogging without a permit, harassing an old woman, harassing an instructor. Seriously? Pranksters on YouTube, including myself, have done way wilder, more extreme stuff on camera. And for years, this kind of content got views, got praised, got promoted by the same platforms and people who are now pretending they've always been against it. Some of these so-called charges feel scripted as hell, like they're digging for anything they can throw at him. Obviously, the footage is out there, he was streaming live, so it's pretty simple for court to process this case, but it's pretty clear they're building a mountain out of the molehill, blowing everything out of proportion just to lock him up.
I'm actually happy that their code is mixed. They don't have to pick mode A or mode B. They can just use whatever law they want to prosecute it, which actually is great.
It's like a bunch of Karens just sat down and then decided, let's just make an example out of Vitaly. Let's turn him into a warning label for every content creator who dares to step a foot in our country. If these are the standards now, then me and 100 other YouTubers should be behind bars by now. 25 years for a live stream prank video?
I actually love that.
Let's take a look at this clip where Legal Mindset breaks down the charges against Vitaly and compares them to something as serious as a first-degree murder in the US just for a prank video.
Usually you have to have what's called mens rea. That's a state of mind. That would be like, for example, for a first-degree murder in the US. So if they use that code, he is in trouble. His behavior and the fact that he profited from this can actually make the punishment worse. They can use that as an aggravating factor to punish him even more severely.
They're not trying to teach him a lesson, they're trying to bury him. That's not justice, that's not even accountability, that is torture. And what's even more disturbing is that a lot of people are smiling and giggling and happy about it. Like they're celebrating, watching a show, and totally forget that real person's life is on the line. Let's just be honest here. If we're gonna say Vitaly deserves 25 years for a prank video, for live streaming dumb content without the permit, for being obnoxious like thousands of YouTubers before him, then what are we even doing then?
And this is what we need to get in Japan, we need to get this in Korea, we need to get this all over the world with people on the same level as the Philippines that understand their psyche, that understand how they're going to go. They're just going to go and do it elsewhere. So if you don't stop them there, they're going to do it elsewhere.
This isn't about protecting anyone, it's about sending a message, but at the cost of one guy's entire future. They're using him as a political pawn. And people are clapping like it's some type of victory for society. It's not. It's called performative justice. It's revenge. revenge served cold with a smile. Let's talk about this petition I came across. Ban Vitaly Zdorovetski from all social media for cyberbullying in the Philippines. And guess who started it? A guy named Nicola Navratil. I actually looked him up on social media, and let's just say it all makes sense now. I'm not gonna put his picture so he doesn't start the petition against me, but you can look him up on Instagram. Definitely giving off Karen with a keyboard energy. But I'll just leave it there because you know how social media these days with the truth. We'll just say the vibes check out, that's all. But here's what gets me. For years, Vitaly's been making content, free content in fact, for millions of people around the world. Nobody had a problem when he was pulling off crazy pranks, especially with exposing child on camera. Nobody cared when he had celebrities lining up to be in his videos. And let's be real, these weren't a small-time collapse. He paid big money to get them involved because that's how big content works. I'm not blaming them for getting paid, that's business. What I'm pointing out now is silence. They were all in when the cameras were rolling and the checks were clearing. Let's not pretend this was ever about morals. Do you think dudes like Lil Pump would have just showed up for free to catch a predator just for the cause? Think about that. But now that he's being treated like a Pablo Escobar for a prank video, they're suddenly too good to speak up. They don't actually care about what he did. They just don't want to be associated now that is controversial. That silence says it all. And now there's this idea floating that he should be banned from all of social media permanently. That's not justice. That's not even accountability. That's called financial execution. I think it's more like of a cancel culture masked as a morality. You're not banning him for cyberbullying just because he made his followers to come to your small business to write a bad review. You're trying to erase his entire career and cut off his income just to make an example out of someone who didn't commit a murder, didn't assault anyone, didn't hurt anyone physically. He made content for views, that's it. What this really shows to me is that if you're more successful than others and you push the boundaries just a little bit more too far, they will love you until they cannot control you. And then they flip. Like I said before, yeah, he should have done better research where he's going. Yeah, the prank is dumb, but that doesn't suddenly make the Philippine government saints. And sure, it doesn't justify turning this into a modern-day crucifixion supported by people who once watched and laughed at his videos.
I'm having a drink tonight. This is easy. I need to pop some champagne or something like that, because this is absolutely one of the best things I could hear for stopping nuisance streaming in Asia. It's the best for this whole region. It really is, to keep this guy and others like him behind bars. It's a huge example.
This isn't about justice. It's not about protecting the locals. This is entertainment for some people, a power move, a message to creators. If you mess up in the wrong country, we'll ruin you, and we will enjoy every single second of it. They're turning a prankster into a political punching bag. They're cheering while the man's entire life is destroyed, not because of what he did, but because of what he represents. They're not protecting their public, they're protecting their pride. So to everyone out there clapping, signing petitions, or cracking bottles, just remember, you're not the hero in the story. You're the crowd at the Coliseum, and one day when the crowd needs a new villain, it might be your name they choose to destroy. Think about that.